So, My Hero Academia. It seems that a point goes to each of us.
Yes, I was going to say, like, it feels like this one's a draw, just because, yes, I was completely correct in that under no circumstance would he get hit, except for the one circumstance where he's literally got to protect Eri.
I,
Like, he's got to forcefully take it on purpose.
I was going to go for the fact that this may end in 1 or 2 episodes.
That too. Hey, look, Deku's here.
I didn't quite know how he would be shot, but I just had a feeling he would lose his quirk by the end of this arc.
Well, here's the question. Does that effect stay? Does he stay quirkless? Or do they somehow find a way to fix him?
I am going to say Eri is so young, like she's 7, 8 maybe.
Probably somewhere around there, yeah.
So, and quirks usually manifest themselves would be the best choice of words when they're born, right?
Around 4 years old is when they tend to manifest, if they
Okay.
haven't right away.
Okay, so she only had her quirk for 4 years. She hasn't perfected it yet. So, and we don't have a proper name for her quirk.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody has the quirk of rewind, I think.
As in,
No, that might be a good name for her quirk.
why? Her quirk is derived to destroy, like, other quirks.
N-
At this point, anyway.
no, but isn't it to, like, make things. Hmm.
I don't think we've ever gotten the name or a definition for what her quirk does, or is.
I thought her quirk reduced things.
I don't think we've ever gotten that. We've
Oh.
only been able to go off the drug that they've made out of her blood.
Oh. Okay, because I was thinking maybe she could, and this may sound really dumb, but if she can erase quirks, can she erase herself erasing quirks? Meaning she could give him back his quirk?
I don't understand how that would work, because if she starts erasing her own quirk, right, like the snake eating its own tail, right,
Right.
I don't think that would change anything for what's already been affected, especially because from what it sounds like, they've taken her blood and then done shit with it to modify it to do this. Like, that's
Oh.
kind of why it started off with only being a temporary effect.
Oh.
Because it's been derived this way, I don't think there's a way to, like, have her deactivate it or whatever it is.
Maybe I unintentionally saw something as I was reading an episode recap like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm like half remembering that as I was like, oh no, I'm not supposed to read this yet.
Well, to be fair, I will say I was spoiled, so I'll give you this much. Rewind is, in fact, what her quirk is called.
Okay.
So I am slightly spoiled as well. However, I have not read the full description of what in the hell it can do.
Yay for being on equal footing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly it can do and how deriving something from her blood can make quirks be erased.
And I think I read that it reverts things, and that's all I really read. That it can like revert things to earlier states.
So if that's the case, right? If that is in fact what her quirk does, then doesn't that mean that you're not actually erasing someone's quirks, but so much so as you're essentially, I guess, putting those cells back into a juvenile state or something? So like they're back before they developed their quirk. So which means like in a few years they would recover it again.
I'm not sure.
it all comes down to how like it's defined. Like I would literally have to read it or see it shown to know, but it's an interesting way to think about it. But rather than just theory crafting here, how about we actually, talk about the things that showed up in the episode?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they'll explain more about Eri later on.
Oh, I'm sure.
Overhaul's quirk is interesting.
So here's the thing, right? I wanted to mention that because we've never seen Overhaul like outright use his quirk, I think, other than when he just blew up the League of Villains character. I forget the name.
I think he did it on more than one occasion just to blow up somebody.
Oh yes, no, he did, right? He did. Like we saw with Rappa, he's done that. Like we saw that, but it was only in silhouette. We saw it with the League of Villains character, and then I think like for one guy that pissed him off or whatever, he did it, but I think it was off screen. Now we're actually seeing what he can do with it in a fight, though. And you want to know what it immediately reminded me of?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
No. I understand why you would immediately jump to that because I make so many of those references, but no, not JoJo's.
Naruto?
Nope.
Okay, then I give up.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh shit, yes.
It looks exactly the same kind of effect that Ed does every time he like tries to transmute the ground or something. It's like panels of rock and shit. Yeah. The only thing he's not doing is literally making a like weapon out of the earth and clapping his hands to do it.
I completely forgot Full Metal Alchemist.
It is immediately to me Full Metal Alchemist inspired at the very least. At least the way he's using it right now. Like using it to move around ground and earth. Obviously, this is a bit more versatile than like the alchemy we see Ed use most of the time. He obviously can do it in different ways, whereas as far as I'm aware, Ed can, but it's more strictly controlled by like science.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that show, even though we did 2 episodes ago on Brandon's Discuss Anime.
Yes, where I went off of memory, and I don't think either you or was it Orion or Andrew at the time? I don't remember.
That was Ryan.
Where neither of you had watched it, or very little of it. We were literally going off of memories, which is probably a poor choice at the time.
Well, Brotherhood, I never saw. I watched the original series, and I was going by memory and a little bit of supplemental reading just to jog memories.
Mm-hmm. And Brotherhood, I went off of my memories of the manga, which at that point was probably like 4 or 5 years ago that I read it.
And that's where I found out I had a thing for Sundaris without realizing it.
Oh, man. All right, so we get to see Wall Guy get taken out real quick. That was way faster than I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, we actually got a definition for what Twice's ability is. I didn't realize it was for more things than just himself. I thought his ability was literally just to make multiple copies of himself.
He doesn't like to do it, though.
No, he doesn't like to do it for personal reasons because it fucks with him. To the point where he doesn't know whether he was the original or not anymore. And that was backstory we got, like, the prior season. But I didn't realize he could do that on more than, like, on objects, on other physical things. That was what we saw with Rappa back in the other episode. He literally made a copy of Rappa that destroyed itself when Night Eye hit it.
And that Jedi mind trick guy, he was cool.
Oh, what's his face? I'm blanking on his name, but the guy that forces you to actually tell the truth. The lie detector, basically.
Yeah, him.
Mr. Truth Serum. Let's go with that. That's what he is. He's a truth serum.
Fair enough.
Didn't you like Drunk Man, though?
Yes.
Here's the biggest question, though, right? Does he need to be drunk for that quirk to work? Or is he just obsessed with alcohol anyway?
Or is he naturally drunk all the time?
Well, I mean, he's constantly drinking alcohol. We saw that earlier, like in the show. He's literally drinking it while upside down.
Good question.
In which case, if he needs to be drinking or drunk to make it work on others, How did he even know he had the quirk until he was 21?
Well, legal drinking age in Japan, I think, is under 21.
Whatever legal drinking age is in Japan, right? 18, 16, whatever. Point is, you had a long ass time between like age 4 when you first are supposed to develop the quirk and when he might have probably discovered it.
Good point.
If that's the way it works, if it's just he gets drunk for his own fun and is just a hard alcoholic and that has nothing to do with his quirk, fine. He would have discovered it anyway at 4. But if alcohol is required for it to work, he had to discover that way late. But no, like Mirio comes in, he takes both of those guys out pretty damn quickly. Because, like I said, literally there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to just become intangible and not get touched by bullets.
Right.
In a regular fight, there is no reason why. And he just takes them out, no problem. Moves on to Chisakai and the other guy.
Mr. Truth Serum.
No. Truth Serum was the one he fought with the sloshed dude.
You're right.
Those guys are both knocked out. Or at least, temporarily knocked out. I don't know what the guy's ability is. I'm blanking on what that guy's ability is. The one that was following him that was holding Eri. His name is Blockhead, I think. I'm curious. Hold on. Blockhead, my hero. All right, let's see. That is not it. Is this him? No, it's not. All right, then I have no idea what his name was. I thought his name was Blockhead. Chisaki, yada, yada, yada. Oh, if only I knew who they were.
I'm reading it now.
8 Bullets. That was them. He's not a member of the 8 Bullets.
Chronostasis? Yes, it is Chronostasis.
Okay. I don't remember him getting a name. But he never used it, I don't think. So I'm not going to read this because I don't think he ever used a quirk while he was fighting. He was just using the handgun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to ignore that page as if it doesn't exist. So Mirio seems to be doing a damn good job of just like both protecting Eri after he grabs her from the other dude and starts fighting both of them at the same time and does a damn good job. To the point where, honestly, I think he could have taken them if he didn't have to protect Eri at the same time. That's the only reason he gets hit with that drug is literally because he has to become tangible and block the bullet.
I'll totally agree with you on that.
The only argument I could say that he could have done instead, and he might not have been able to do it just because of how far he had to like move to get to her to block it, he could have grabbed the cape, balled it up quickly, and used it to block the bullet. Or I guess the tranquilizer dart, or the dart, or whatever you want to call it. Because it's not an actual bullet.
And after he lost his quirk, he still put up a good fight.
Oh yeah, no, he's totally putting up a great fight. And at this point, he probably just thinks it's a temporary loss. He probably doesn't even think it's a permanent loss. He has no reason to believe it is. So at this point, he's probably just waiting for it. He's trying to last long enough until it comes back.
So now he's basically Batman.
He's not the world's greatest detective, so I wouldn't say he's Batman. He also isn't rich or have like a Mirio cave somewhere.
Or he hasn't suffered a loss of his daughter.
For fuck's sake, Rook. Oh god, that third game's gonna be a fucking trip when we get to that.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh god. Alright. So yeah, we get a lot of good shots of Mirio just trying to fight, dropping them down. And hell, even quirkless, he is still beating the shit out of Chisaki. Yeah, Overhaul. No problem. He's getting grazed and hit here and there, and it wasn't until he had to like guard Eri again before he got hit really bad. And I think a lot of that just comes down to the way he had to train himself, which was just anticipate how the enemy is going to move, anticipate how they're going to attack. Literally, it's because of that kind of training that he's able to fight like he can. He's able to anticipate where those spikes are probably going to come from. He's able to anticipate how the opponent's going to attack or move. or shoot.
And here comes Deku at the end.
Oh yeah, there comes Deku. After, Mirio took a good couple of spikes to his what? I think he got one like in the abdomen, and then he definitely got one in the leg, and I think there might have been one in like the upper arm, I want to say, but I could be wrong.
I think it's going to be very interesting how Deku will fight him.
Oh, I can't wait to see, because right now Chisaki's like beating the shit. I'm curious how he's going to recover, because short of him like jamming a drug into his body, that steroid, I'm curious how it's going to go. And the other guy, with the cryostasis ability, I'm curious what that's gonna do.
Chronostasis.
I'm curious what that's gonna do, considering he hasn't used that quirk yet. Honestly, the way Deku's fighting with his legs, he could just kick those bullets, no problem. Because if you remember right, if I'm remembering correctly, his hero costume got modified, so now the feet are tipped with iron soles.
Oh!
So that way his kicks hit even harder, right?
I could see something about him kicking away one of the drug bullets.
Totally, he could just kick that and destroy it. Like, he doesn't have to worry about it impacting him at all because of those iron soles and boots that he's got on. That's gonna get shattered up against his iron.
Since there are 4 bullets left, do you think they'll attempt to use it again?
I can't imagine they won't try, especially considering that Eraserhead's coming in and they're gonna have to deal with that, because he's just gonna shut down any quirk. None of them are physical abilities, as far as I know, anyway. Chisaki definitely isn't.
Do you think there'll be any more casualties? I mean, like, quick casualties?
I don't think so, because now they're dealing... Because right now, as far as I'm aware, if I'm remembering right, they only have the one gun. And right now, it's in the hands of a guy that's more or less gotten the shit kicked out of him. So they'd have to get that gun back, for one.
So they'll attempt to use the gun, but it will be unsuccessful.
I was going to say, for one, they need to get the gun back. For two, they're fighting more than one opponent now. Like, they're coming in with at least 3. Between Night Eye, Eraserhead, and Deku. Plus, if Mirio's still fighting as he is. There was some decent information drops, like, Eri is not actually Overhaul's daughter. Like, they're not related at all.
Wow. What a surprise.
And the fact that, like, he's also been mentally torturing her. By telling her, like, she's a cursed person, that everyone that gets near her, like, dies. And all this shit.
Oh.
So clearly she's been through mental fucking torture, as well as the physical one. Because even Chisaki let on that, like, he's literally put her near death and had to reconfigure her body back. Because remember, his overhaul ability is destruction and reconstruction.
Mm-hmm.
He alludes to the fact that he's done that before. Like, she's used to that. So he's done it before at least once, if not more.
I wonder what it feels like to be reconstructed.
You could ask Rappa. Rappa clearly went through it at least 5 times.
Poor Rappa.
He wants it! The dude wants that. At least for him, it's something he wants.
Well, he's a masochist.
He's also an adult who's masochist / insane. He's just probably more upset that he's being brought back. He'd rather just lose and die honestly rather than being forced to be brought back.
So do you think Deku and whoever versus Overhaul will be 1 or 2 episodes?
Well, see, like, when we saw the preview, there was a point where we saw Night Eye talking to, the old guy. Fuck, I forget his name. The old guy that was training Deku before when he first got full culling. I'm blanking on his name. Oh, and I like him, too. Oh, that's the worst.
Gran Torino?
Yes, that's it. Gran Torino. There's a point where he's talking to Gran Torino, and I don't know if that's a flashback or not.
Due to the amount of flashbacks we've seen this arc, I'm going to say yes.
Then maybe it'll be 2 episodes. If that's not a flashback, then it's 1. But like I said, what, like, Overhaul is pretty worn down at this point. Like, short of a drug, I don't know how he's going to take on 3 people at once. Because his other dude's more or less been taken out. Like, Truth Serum dude's down, for sure. Right? I don't see him getting back into this fight. And Chronostasis, he doesn't seem like he's a good fighter in general. So whatever his quirk is maybe situational. Because otherwise I feel like he would have used it to help. Either that, or just Mirio's quirk just made his quirk pointless and useless. Because whatever it is, Mirio would just, permeate through it.
Well, we're going to have to check this out next week on the potential mid-season finale.
I guess.
So, hopefully more points will be earned by me before the season is over.
Oh, yeah, actually, no. One last thing. Remember how we said Wall Dude got taken out real quickly, right? Apparently Twice and Toga are just going to go and, like, essentially help the heroes to take out the other side.
Oh?
That's the way it was implied. Like, they say they're going to do what they want, but in that case, it seems like they're basically going to help the heroes, at least to some degree, take out the Yakuza. Because, like, that's essentially what they were doing. They were getting the dude in the wall all pissed off to the point where, like, he revealed himself and gave himself away.
But don't you know, Kiryu will show up with Dragon Force and then beat everybody up.
You know what? As much as I like the idea of Dragon Force, like, I just thought, like, what if his stand is just called Nani? Or no, that's the Fist Barrage. It's just Nani the entire time. Nani, 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 Nani!
Because I think during that Yakuza 0 playthrough, we came up with his stand being called Dragon Force.
We did. I forget what ability we gave it. Oh no, I remember now. It was straight up the ability to, like, beat people so hard, but not have them die. He can't land lethal blows, but his attacks are stupidly powerful. Doesn't matter what they are. Whether he's firing a rocket launcher at a helicopter, those people are going to survive. That's what his stand does.
I forgot about that.
The stand is just straight up beating people within an inch of their lives, and he cannot kill them, but he can put them on the very edge.
Oh, God. So come back with us next week for more My Hero Academia and other random rambling bullshit.
Look, man, we can just change this into a quirk, no problem. It's just a permanently active one he can't turn off.
Oh, God. All right, see you next week.
Goodbye.